Uh, Welcome to Champions Network TV. Today we are discussing the pending strike by the truck drivers on the Zambian borders, and particularly their concern regarding their visa immigration. And today I'm joined with Mr. Musa Oma, who is the transporter. Actually, he is a significant transporter, and soon we will also be joined by Mr. Chilanga, who is the Deputy Secretary General for the Professional Union for the drivers, and hopefully we will be joined by other practitioners in the area. So for now, I will just invite Mr. Oma, who is the transporter who does a lot of business that goes through Zambia. Mr. Oma, if you can introduce yourself to our audience.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity once again. Yes, we run a huge transport company servicing DRC as our main route, and we deliver a lot of cargo in Zambia, Malawi, and most countries in Africa. So, yes, what brings us here is the same challenge as transit visa, the 90-day rule in Zambia. And our plea is to our Zambian brothers, can you please abolish the system and let us work together and let traffic flow as normal as it is done in Europe? We always use Europe as an example. Why should we fail in Africa? It's not a tug of war, it's not a fight, but it's just a matter of understanding each other and the impact that such things bring into business. Every day lost is millions that's lost. You can't make up for it. So it's just our plea from our brothers in Zambia to please think about this and give us a chance that we can all work together. That's all. Let's wait and hear what others will also say.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Oma. Just for our viewers to put you into perspective, I think the greatest challenge we are having with the Zambian immigration, particularly regarding the truck drivers who move goods through Zambia, is the Zambian has got a 90-day per year visa rule, which means if you exhaust your 90 days, you are expected to buy a transit visa if you are to continue passing through Zambia. And this, according to the sources that availed themselves to Champions Network TV, the Zambian authorities tended to slow down their processing of goods across their borders, affecting the drivers not to be able to do transit within the 90-day visa rule if their job is full-time driving. Mr. Oma, would you want to shed more light on this particular visa rule for the Zambian?
Yeah. So they say to them, it's like they treated that you are staying in Zambia too long, which means you're no longer transiting. So it's as good as you are working in Zambia. You see, that's how they treat it, because 90 days is enough for you to cross and to the other end and the like. But with all the challenges in the borders, the clearing systems, the delays with duties and import permits, there's a lot of things that daily arise that, we say, okay, we're improving the economy, but I don't know how much of improving it is, because now everything is going slower. Because now this one will wake up tomorrow and say, we've introduced now this permit. You start jumping around where to get this permit. The truck is standing. Your days in Zambia are accumulating. Automatically they say, now you are working in Zambia, you need to apply for a permit as a temporary permit for being in Zambia. What I understand, what I've learned of that from coming Monday, that permit fee has been reduced now from 12,000 kwacha to 4,500, and it's no longer going to be for 90 days. It's going to be 60 days. So I'm hoping Alex for static drivers will come online as well. He can explain better on this
Oh,
because I just learned of this development today on the new charges, on the revised charges.
reverse charges. Okay. Uh, uh, Joined with us, it's Mr. Chilanga. Um,
Yes,
Omar has just been alluding to the fact that the transit visa fee has been reduced to 4,500 kwacha. Is that is that information available to yourself?
come again.
Um, Omar has just been saying the transit visa fee, transit permit fee has
Yes.
been reduced from 12,000 kwacha to 4,500 kwacha. Is is that position true to your understanding?
On that note, understand the director of immigration in Zambia was trying to
Uh-huh.
respond the one of the letters our fellow brothers from Zambia wrote to the
Uh-huh.
Ministry of Home Affairs. That was in
Okay.
2023. So I understand they were responding to that letter to
Uh-huh.
revise or to reduce the price. And by that time they were requesting this. The price was, if I'm not mistaken, at 9,000. So
No.
even though they put it at 4,000, still time will come when they will revise this and it will also be raised at the certain extent where drivers will also fail to possess this thing.
Okay. All right. So okay. I think what our viewers may want to know, if the visa fee reduction is permanent and it's 4,500, would the position of the drivers regarding the coming strikes still stand?
Yes, still drivers will go on strike, despite
Okay.
that the deduction what they have done. Uh, Drivers will not change their minds. They want to completely scrap it off.
Okay. Right. Um, let's now talk about what is the potential impact of this strike on the economy of Southern Africa. I'm going to bring the trade route. Um, I just went through this and trying to look at the volume of uh, traffic that goes through Zambia. As we can all see, most of the routes are having to pass through Zambia wherever they are going. And I tried to look at in terms of the value of trade that goes through Zambia. Obviously, I couldn't get some because they said you can only get it through from the SADC offices. Maybe Mr. Omar might help us to try to understand what is the potential impact in terms of actually the business if we only have got 1 day stoppage of truck drivers not going through Zambia.
Look, the exact figures, I don't have them at the top of my head, but us in transport, like what we charge our clients for every day we stand for loss of business per truck, it's like $200 to $250 per day. So a truck standing, I'm losing that kind of money. And that's per day, which means now I'm going to have an issue with my driver. He's going to say, I need to top him up money again for his upkeep because it's an extra day he's standing, depending how long the strike's going to stand. If it's going to last 5 days, times that $200, I'm losing $1,000. So we don't like strikes. It seems like in Africa, the only language people understand is strike. When we discuss like this, it never ends up. We want to discuss and resolve things amicably, but it seems it doesn't work. then it looks like we are using bully tactics and we are making threats. It's not our style in transport, and our drivers, it's not in their intention to do so. But it's like we are forced. That's the only uh, tool we have that works. Sometimes it seems here in Africa that we need to cripple economies and go through all this for the message to go through, which I don't think in today's time we should be working like this. We should, resolve what's the problem, let's sit, table it, and not drag things like the way they are going. It's going on and on as a marathon. Things that can be simply resolved, in a few days, but we let it drag and it comes to where it is now.
I was talking to this is to Mr. Chilang. I was talking to someone from the Zimbabwean embassy who deals with the Zimbabwean embassy in South Africa, and what they were alluding me to was the Zimbabwean embassy in South Africa is delegated a particular person when you have got any issues with the with the immigration in Zimbabwe. You have got to that particular person. As a union, with the Zambian authorities, do we have delegated or named person that we deal with when we are dealing with the immigration in especially at the union level?
Mr. Chilanga, you've been in talks with a lot of people. You can answer us on this one, please.
Yes, of course, I've communicated with a lot of people, and I've gone to different embassies. When you come to such things like what we are talking about today, understand most of the offices, they know these things because, as I already mentioned, that it's not only us from Malawi, but also our fellow brothers from Namibia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and the other countries. We have been trying to engage authorities from different angles so that we should have a concrete decision before we make a decision like what we have done today. But in most cases, some of the officials, they don't turn up to us to respond whatever we raised to them. So those are also the barriers. Also, we can say they are the causes of all these things to be happening in Africa. Had it been there's a concrete decision before we came to a conclusion to say, let's stop these trucks, I'm sure this mindful of saying, let's go on strike could have been history in Africa. But all is sponsored by our requests from our readers.
Okay. And thank you very much. And I think earlier on you were alluding to especially the impact, and you were talking about the particularly the things that the items that our trucks will be carrying that are vital to both the economy and the livelihood of our people. Can you just bring that idea up, especially some trucks carrying perishables, some trucks carrying valuable items for our economy?
Thank you. Once again, transport industry, we can say is the backbone of our world economy, because almost everything passes through the transport industry. If we say everything passes through the transport industry, I can even say the shirt you are wearing, the shirt I'm wearing here, it passes through the transport industry because it's the driver who carries it from one point to another. So too, in this case, the stoppage of these trucks will come with an impact, a big impact to the economy of Zambia and the surrounding countries. Because we understand drivers, they're carrying a lot of goods, medicine, mining equipment, perishable goods, all those things, they will be stopped just because drivers, they're looking for something better for themselves. You see, so these are some of the impact. Even the villagers, the local people will get affected. Everyone will get affected because there is a lot of things that is needed by the humans through the transport industry. So we drivers, we are the ones who are carrying the almost the life of people in this world through our daily services. So I wish drivers should be regarded as the most important essential providers in our continent.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chilanga. And we are joined by Say
I see
Alex.
Mr. Alex has just joined us now.
Yeah, he's just joined us. Say Alex, welcome to Champions Network TV. Today we are just discussing the pending strike by truck drivers on the borders of Zambia, starting from the 16th of this coming month. And I think we have been in contact with some authorities, and you might have some information on the ground is what is the real.
Thank you so
current
much,
position.
Wana. And
I think it's frozen. I think his internet might not be stable, so he's frozen.
Yeah, they seem to have a problem in Zambia. The
Yeah.
network lately hasn't been good.
Yeah, we will continue. And I think Mr. Chilang has spoken from the driver's perspective, and Mr. Oma, you hinted on the impact on you as the transporter in terms of you now you've got to keep a driver, and also the cost to whoever your customer, because every day there's a cost to it. So can you just add on to what Mr. Chilanga said in terms of the valuables that the drivers will be carrying? And me, I was just thinking about me going to the supermarket and vegetables are not there, or some perishables are not there, and it is affecting my kitchen. If you can just add on to that.
Yes, that is true. Like I said earlier, we have delays with clearances at the border. So it seems that the clearance alone is not enough. Apart from clearance, now we have this delay. So supplies will run, the shelves will run dry in most supermarkets. Where I know a lot of vegetables, fruits come from South Africa to Zambia. So what will the people eat in those days until this matter is resolved? Because we don't know how long the trucks are going to stand, when are we going to get a solution to this? So let's say it takes a week or 2 weeks. What will the local people eat that rely on fresh foods and produce that come from South Africa and other neighboring countries?
Thank you very much. We are joined by Mr. Is it Mavoro?
Golden Mavor, yes.
If you can just manage the sound at the background.
Yeah. I've done it.
Okay. We are just discussing the pending strike on the Zambian border, and we were just looking at what are the potential impacts if this is not averted.
Yeah, the potential impact is on especially to the Zambian immigration, Zambian truck drivers as well. It might also escalate to other countries. Okay. So other countries will end up also asking the Zambian drivers to pay the same amount of money. And the other impact is it will delay the movement of the goods. Yes, to the supermarkets. And like, you know, we carry goods for Spar, ShopRite, Pick and Pay, Game, all those things. And it will affect as well as the SADC as a whole. Because remember, some of the goods are also going like to DRC. Remember that abnormal load that passes through Zambia. Let's assume that may probably that driver at these days lapsed. Then how does he pass? It will also slow down the economy of the country.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's a very interesting point of view, that we have got some abnormal loads, and maybe a driver is driving an abnormal load, and obviously only certain drivers have got the ability to drive those trucks, and their days expire whilst in Zambia. And I'm just imagining, like Mr. Omar, when you had to look for an alternative, and where do you find someone who can drive in a normal load at short notice, so that the truck can move? I don't know.
Exactly.
To be honest with you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, because hello.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, because imagine in a situation whereby someone has entered Zambia and is told to say probably has left with 5 days or so. Then he's told to say, if you go into Zambia, probably is going to DRC. Then if he goes with these 5 days, he can cross to DRC. But when coming back, in these days are gone. He can only be given only one option, probably to buy that, or he can fly. Because he is no longer allowed to be in Zambia, except, or else he has to buy the transit permit. And if you look at the price of the passport, and if you look at the price of the permit for one just to cross for a year, I think it might not be the same. Probably for the permit, it might be even it was worse when it was on 15,000. At least now they were saying they've reduced it to 4.5, but still, we believe it's not supposed to be on the driver, because the driver doesn't control his stay in Zambia. And it's like there is a category for essential. Driver is on the essential service category. It's not on the business category.
Okay.
Remember, during the COVID period, all the drivers were the only people moving around in the whole world, but they are not given that exemption to say these critical people. You get what I mean? So
Yeah,
even if you look at the border, let me give an example of Kazungula border. Kazungula border, it was constructed in such a way that there is a commercial side and there is a passenger side, whereby you find the government has built a border specifically for commercial, and they actually put officers, immigration officers, specifically for the commercial truck drivers. But at the same time, they don't exempt them from the passenger category. You get what I mean?
Well, I get what you're. So they've created a commercial route, but
Yes.
they still apply the immigration rules that are to everybody else.
Are not conducive for the commercial the movements of goods. They've accommodated the trucks, they've accommodated the goods, but they are not accommodating the people that moves all these, who makes things happen.
Oh, I hear you. We have been joined by Say Alex. I saw Say Alex, you were going to say something before you froze and disappeared. Say Alex, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, although the network is a bit challenged here. But just a quick one. Although I did not hear from the beginning of all the subject. But as for now, like I can say is Zambia have revised the statutory instrument of 18 number 18 of 2020 2010. That was mandatory to a driver, not even a driver, but whoever enters Zambia, to be specific, he has to have 90 days free in a year, and the rest of the days, if he continues coming to Zambia, he has to pay a transit permit. That was exorbitant. I can confirm that. But due to pressure and us pushing as an SADC Truck Driver Association of Zambia, we have had a chance to speak to the government and share notes. Even in the corridor, Namibia, the Congo corridor, they had bilateral talks at the sister countries, whereby the Zambian governments have even reduced it from 12,000 to 4,500 per year. Once we elapse those 90 days, then you'll be required to pay 4,500. That will last you for a year. Although we are not idle as leaders of the association, but we're still negotiating more. We're trying to ask the government or lobby from the government so they can exempt drivers, because drivers are not visitors or maybe they're tourists, but they come to visit. They don't come to visit, they come to deliver. Going in, going out, because they're the one bringing the commodity on the ground. And as an association, we're busy working on that. And the government, the door is open.
Okay. I think he's gone as well. But I think he has given us some valuable points there to say he can confirm that the statutory instrument has been revised to say instead of 12,000 is now 4,500. But as union, we are still continuing to push. And the good bit is saying the Zambian authorities, they are saying the door is open for a continual negotiation. May I just, Mr. Chilang has gone off. I just wanted him to have a comment in terms of with the position that the Zambian authorities confirmed 4,500. Would there be a revised in terms of the resolution that is regarding the strike? Yeah, because that will also be very good news for Mr. Omar to hear as a transporter, and I think.
You see, I personally, as the transporter, I'm not happy. I'm not happy to pay that fee anyway for my driver as well, because I, as a businessman, I fight with the driver and say, listen, my documents for the trucks are valid. You should pay for that. You see, that's why my drivers also don't want, and I don't want them to pay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
I've already got a responsibility of paying the insurances, paying the tolls, maintaining the truck. I don't want to absorb that 4,500 as well. Then I throw it to the driver. That responsibility is on you. The document, the requirement is on the driver. So you are the driver. The same way you renew your own driver's license, this is your requirement. You see? So I don't want my drivers to pay for this.
Okay, I hear, and I think I just wanted a comment from Mr. Chilanga as the lead in the union. What will be the position of the union with regard to the revised fee from 12,000 to 4,500? I think is frozen as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think so. I think the next segment, which was going to discuss the potential solutions, I think the fact that there is an open door for negotiations, it's a positive. From I don't know what others would think, because as alluded by say Alex, that they've had a discussion with the Zambian authority, and they have revised the statutory instrument to reduce the fee to 4,500, and they have also said their door is still open for negotiations, and obviously from the union perspective, as what I heard from Alex is they are not satisfied with even paying any kwacha for the permit, because they are saying they should be exempted. So what is the feeling of the House?
Yeah, I think with this one, Mr. Chilanga is the one who can give us a proper feedback, or the other gentleman above, if he's dealing with drivers, or is part of a drivers union. That means they'll have to go back to the drivers and update them on the new development of the 4,500 and see if they're going to accept, or they're going to say, no, we're still downing tools. We don't want to pay. So that I wish I could shed more light, but it's only for the people working direct with the drivers who can update.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to just to give a comment on the payment of this. You know, sometimes you like from the employer side, he can give you all the cost of you are going this, you'll be paying for the trophy, for the council, all those things. Then you are given money to come and pay. When you get there, that's when you're gonna hear to say they will start counting your days. That's when you're gonna be told to say, no, your days are finished. But you didn't know all those things all the way from where you were coming. So it's very difficult for somebody all of a sudden to get that money.
Okay.
If you can look at the salaries of the drivers, then you expect that lump sum of money just to be found anywhere. It's something very difficult for the drivers. So that's where you find the employer will just say, no, you can't, you don't have money, and I cannot pay. So you can just come back. Then I get another driver. So the driver has lost his job because he was asked to pay for the transit permit,
Correct.
which he doesn't have the money.
Yeah. So I think the overlying message that we are sending to the Zambian authorities, thank you for the reduction, but I think we feel this should be treated as a like essential service,
Yeah.
service, and consider exempting the truck drivers from the 90-day rule. That's the sentiment I'm getting. So I think
100% correct. Yeah. The visa should be exempt from truck drivers. 100%, completely zero. That's what is our plea. It is not a demand, please. It is a humble request for our drivers, please.
Exactly.
and I think we are also joined. Yes, Yes, dropped off. We have got a correspondent from Harare for Champions Network TV. So he was just coming in to so that he can hear, so that he can also amplify our voices on our channel as a way of reporting things that we have discussed on the channel today. But unfortunately, the internet is also not good in Zimbabwe at the moment. So let us just round up. I will give Alex and is it Golden?
Yeah.
Your final message: 1, to the Zambian government; 2, to the SADC countries; and 3, to the truck drivers.
Yeah, my final message is to the Zambian government. We are pleading with them to consider our cry to say they should exempt us from paying the transit permit and counting the 90-day accumulated, because it's counted as per. They take 7 days, they put aside 10, 12 days, they put aside 5, and accumulation of the whole year. If your calendar is counting from from January up to October, they can count there. If your days are coming, they count accumulative. If they can count to 90 days, then they stop you. So we are asking for them to not to consider the 90-day on commercial truck drivers. Then we go to the drivers themselves. Sorry?
Yeah, go on. We are listening.
Yeah, carry on.
To the drivers, we are just asking to say, let's continue asking from the authorities to hear us. And you say I must talk again about the drivers and what the example.
What messages are you giving to the SADC countries?
Yes, to the SADC countries, we are saying the message which is there is to say, look, this should also apply to all the countries. They should also consider exempting truck drivers on issues that they see it affects the drivers in all the SADC countries. Remember, each country has got its problems. Like, I want to give an example for DRC. You see all the drivers, some drivers that are asked to pay the visas when going into DRC, just like ordinary passengers or immigrants who are just going. But we are asking for the SADC to exempt commercial truck drivers as essential services, because their job is so critical, and if they don't come, they can't get food from the supermarket. They can't even their clothes which they wear, they can't get those things. So they need to consider and exempt the truck drivers wherever, including all the other SADC countries, to consider wherever they go. Let them give them special treatment so that they carry out their job without too much problems.
Thank you very much. I don't know, Mr. Omar, if you want to have your final word. 1, 2.
No, I think Mr. Golden has covered everything, and I agree 100% with him. So we can conclude on that. From my side, I've said all that I had to say. And yes, we just have to carry on pleading until maybe one day they can hear us and then do away with this thing, especially for our drivers.
Okay, and thank you very much. And Champions Network TV continue to be open to you guys, and at short notice, so we can always gather together and talk. And if you have got any news item that you want to be published, we have got correspondences that are in Zimbabwe, and I have added the correspondences on the Zambian crisis, and if you post anything there that you need covered in terms of news item, it will be done and posted on this channel so thank you for joining us, and those who are listening on this broadcast. If you have got any comments, you can put the comments in the chats, and if there are any suggestions, put them forward, and we will take them to the respective people who can act on them. I know Alex has just joined us. Sorry, Alex, the internet is not treating us well. You are going on and off. We were concluding, and I was just giving people the opportunity to say their final word, one, to the Zambian authorities, especially the immigration, and secondly, to the SADC countries. And because if this stoppage goes ahead, it will affect business across the region. And finally, a final message to truck drivers. Can you hear me, say, Alex?
Yeah, I'm hardly hearing you. That's
I think he has gone off. I think. I think we for now we can conclude. Thank you very much for joining. Hopefully we will continue to chat on the WhatsApp group.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.